Ever wonder what happens at a home buying consultation? We'll cover that today on Frequently Asked Friday. What is going on, party people? My name is Chris Elliott with the Elliott Real Estate Team. Today we're going to be covering in this video what actually happens at a home buying consultation. Before we jump into it, if you would like, subscribe, comment, hit the thumbs up, whatever you're supposed to do. If you would do it, I appreciate it. All right, so jumping into it, what is a buyer consultation? So some of you may not know, maybe you've bought a home before and you didn't have a buyer consultation. So what we like to do with our clientele is we like to, the philosophy, the motto is slow down to speed up. So before we jump into making offers, before we jump into showing homes, we like to book a time with you, either in person, on the phone, on a video call, hologram, however we're meeting these days with people. We like to sit down with you, get to know what you're looking for, and walk you through the process. So it's really just spending about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how many questions you have, sitting down with you, talking through that process before we jump into what people historically and traditionally think of, what shopping for a home looks like. So very, very important. Why is this important to do? We found that if we slow down, explain the process to you, that you are going to be much more confident going into this process. You're going to have a lot less anxiety about the process. It just helps to really kind of slow down and speed up, as I've already touched on. And guys, keep in mind, this is a huge major purchase. You're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're going to be taking out a loan that is going to stick around for the next 30 years. So it makes sense to spend an hour of time. Even if you feel like you've got a very good idea of what you're looking for, if you're going to be working with a real estate agent, it makes sense to spend an hour of time to kind of go through what you're looking for, just so we're on the same page as you. Unfortunately, most people spend more time designing their grocery list than they do actually thinking about what they want to buy in their next home. So very, very important for us to go through. So what are we going to do first? So the first thing that we do with our clientele is we go through a buyer questionnaire, which is really designed for us just to get to know you at a deep level, also designed for us to get to know what you're looking for in a home. So it's a series of questions that we just like to run through. It is a stock list of questions, but once again, we find those questions kind of really elicit not only what you're looking for, but why is that important to you and what goals are you looking to accomplish? Reason being, we can't really serve you unless we know what we're looking for and we know why it's important to you. We also might be able to suggest things, properties, area, neighborhoods, that you might not be considering just because you have an idea of what you're looking for, but we might be able to provide an alternative solution to your problem, to your aspiration, to your goal. So that's that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into our guide to home buying. So this is kind of a broad brush strokes outline of what a home transaction looks like. So we're not trying to teach you everything from A to Z. We're not trying to give you all the minutia, but what we like to do is to give you that broad brush stroke outline, just so you know the general steps. There's 15 steps in a home purchase process, just so you kind of know what's around the corner, what to expect, what are the landmines to avoid, and one of the things that you want to make sure that you do. And if you're somebody that's bought a home before, maybe you've bought it in a different area, you may say, hey, Chris, we don't necessarily need this. I promise you, if you bought a home more than 3 years ago, something has probably changed. Even if it hasn't, the details are probably going to be a little fuzzy. You're probably going to be a little rusty. So once again, large purchase makes sense for us to go through that again. And if you're somebody that's bought a home in a different marketplace, even within the state of Virginia, there are certain nuances to each market that you go to. There's certain things that change from market to market. So once again, it's just good for us to go over that so you know what to expect throughout the process. And then last but not least, if we mutually decide that we're going to be a good fit for each other, we're going to go through the paperwork. So there's 2 documents that you would sign if you're going to formally hire us as your real estate agents to help you purchase a property. The first one is a buyer brokerage agreement. And basically what that buyer brokerage agreement it says, hey, we are committing to work with you throughout this process, and that you are committing to work with us throughout this process. So you are not obligating yourself to purchase a home with this agreement, but you're basically just saying, hey, if we're signing an agreement, we're just agreeing that we're going to work with Chris and his team throughout for a set amount of time. And if we happen to purchase a home, we're going to agree to do it with Chris and his team helping us throughout the process. So that's that. It is a two-way street with that. So basically, if we're not a good fit for you, or if we feel like you're maybe not a good fit for us, we don't necessarily have to do that. We're not looking to twist anybody's arm, but if we're going to move forward together, we do need to have a buyer brokerage agreement in place. The second document that you're going to sign is what's called a summary of the Residential Property Disclosure Act. So in the state of Virginia, sellers really don't have to disclose much when they go to sell a home. The only two things that you really have to disclose, or three things rather: known building code violations, known zoning violations, and known defects. If the seller does not have any of those to disclose, there's going to be nothing for them to disclose. So the summary of the Residential Property Disclosure Act is just basically a form that goes through some of the frequently asked questions, things that they don't have to disclose. Are there any sex offenders in the area? Did somebody ever die in the house? Are there any adjacent parcel issues or anything like that? Those are all things that a seller doesn't have to disclose in the state of Virginia. So that is that. Let me just see if I missed anything. That is it. That is a home buyer consultation. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, concerns, anything that I didn't address in this video, comment below, shoot me a DM, reply back, however you got this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a good rest of your week. We look forward to seeing you next time.